thanks to all of you. I asked Andy how many years ago he came, when the first bike summit was. It was 13 years ago. There were 120 people. Tonight there are 750 people. You've come a long way in 13 years. Thank you for coming to Washington. Your visits here really make a difference. And this is my 5th visit as the Secretary of Transportation. I've never missed one of your summits. And I'm really... And I guarantee you this, whoever my successor is, you'll not have a Secretary of Transportation stand on the table and speak to you. That'll never happen again. That did make me famous. You all made me famous. When I first got this job, Earl Blumenauer called me, a dear friend from Congress. He and I served together and worked together, traveled together, and we became good friends. And he asked me if I would come to his office and talk about his vision for livable and sustainable communities, something that he had worked on for years, and the importance of really developing a program at DOT. And that really was my inspiration. And I know that Earl has been an inspiration to all of you, that elected officials can have a vision, can gather people around them, can rally the country, and really make a difference. Earl, you've made a difference. Thank you for all of that. Earl has made a difference in Congress. People know who he is and what he stands for. And I know that all of you in this room know who he is and what he stands for. He's been a leader. He's been a real visionary. Many of you in this room are visionaries. I want to say a special thanks to a very dear friend, Commissioner Jeanette Sedekon, for all the good work. Stand up, Jeanette. What Jeanette has done in New York, and for those of you that aren't from New York, again, a visionary, made a difference, has stood up. She's had a great mayor to back her up, and that's very important. And also to John Burke and Bruce Katz, thank you for talking about the economic benefits of cycling, and thank you for all of your leadership also. Let me just say a few words about a few things that I think are important, and then I'll be happy to see if there are some questions that you might have. We have really tried to promote cycling over the last 4.5 years that I've been in this job by promoting livable and sustainable communities. And Sean Donovan and Lisa Jackson and I traveled around the country on a little tour talking about how we were working together and cooperating together. We went to Chicago and Dubuque, Iowa, and Denver. While we were in Denver, we helped then Mayor Hickenlooper inaugurate the bike share program, one of the best bike share programs in the country. And while Mayor Fenty was mayor of Washington, we helped him really fund and inaugurate the bike share program here in Washington. A really good program, a very popular program. And I was just with Secretary Salazar in Colorado, inaugurating a biking and walking trail in one of the most pristine and beautiful areas of Colorado, really in the world. And we've done this all over the country because this is what Americans want. They want to be able to enjoy the great outdoors. They want to be able to bike. They want to be able to have walking and biking paths. And we're proud of the fact that we made that happen over the last 4.5 years. The president said to me a year or so ago that he ran into somebody at an event, and the person said something about Ray LaHood, and the president said, "Well, you must be a cyclist." The fellow said, "Yeah, I'm a cyclist." We've made a difference, but we've done it together. programs, the development of walking and biking paths, the development of really cycling has been a part of your vision. We need to continue the momentum. We can't let up. I know that many of you are going to be visiting your members of Congress, both your Congress people and your senators. You need to talk about your passion and why this is important. And why now that there are communities all over America getting into bike share programs, getting into walking and biking paths. You've all been the leaders in that. You deserve the credit for it, for helping communities really take off. You've been way ahead of the politicians, not way ahead of Earl, but way ahead of most politicians. You really have been. And it's been a great honor for 4.5 years to be a part of an administration that shares your vision and takes your lead and has become a part of a country that really considers cycling and walking and all of these activities very, very important. We have been proud supporters of bike share, providing over $5 million through our FDA bus livability and transit parks program to help cities build bike share systems that link up to public transportation. And our very own Capital Bike Share celebrated its 2nd anniversary in September and served over 3 million riders. Think of that. Wow. 3 million, here, right here in Washington. Bike Share in DC and the suburbs now has 18,000 annual members using 1,500 bikes. Since day one, this administration has made livability a priority, and biking and walking, and making sure that it happened. We used our Tiger program in an effective way. Through the Federal Highway Administration, we have a record $3.8 billion in bicycle and pedestrian projects nationwide. $3.8 billion in 4.5 years. We are very proud of that. We wouldn't have done it without all of you. Under Tiger, we awarded nearly $130 million specifically for bike and pedestrian projects. In Houston, we helped fund a project that will eliminate gaps in the bike grid and provide travelers a great alternative to sitting in traffic. In Northwest Arkansas, yes, in Arkansas. Anybody from Arkansas? Oh yeah. Yeah, you know. We broke ground on the last section of the Razorback Regional Greenway Parkway. This bicycle and pedestrian network serves as a model for how livability promotes economic development. In Dubuque, Iowa, we celebrated the completion of the historic Millwork District. In Dubuque, Iowa, IBM moved 1,500, what I call young people, between 25 and 40, into the community. They took an old Penny's building in downtown Dubuque, they fixed it up, and I asked the CEO one time when I met him, why did you pick Dubuque? Easy answer, he said, the most livable community, one of the most livable communities in America. And for what we did with our investments in an old millwork area, where we fixed up buildings, HUD came in and provided affordable housing, we fixed up streets, IBM moved these people in. This is economic development. This is opportunity. And it's being done all over America. Let me just say that one of our priorities over the last 4.5 years has been safety. Many of you know about that. We've really promoted distracted driving. And you know what a menace it is. And you shouldn't be doing it. I don't have to tell anybody in this room that you can't text and ride a bike. But you also can't text and drive a car. And many people think they can't do it. They can't. But our work isn't finished. In 2011, and this is what I want to emphasize tonight. In 2011, bicyclist deaths increased by nearly 9%. We have to do better. We can do better. All of us must be vigilant when it comes to safety, whether it's in our car, on a bike, or on foot. We also need to continue to invest in modern infrastructure that takes bikes into consideration. And we need to develop new standards to help us build that infrastructure. And we're going to address this. We need your help on this. We're going to address bicycle safety head on, and we're going to pull from all of our resources to solve our safety challenges. Our policy experts, our researchers at NHTSA, which is a great safety organization, our engineers and the Federal Highway Administration are all working together. More importantly, we want to be sure that the cyclist community is behind us. And as a part of our ongoing efforts, we will partner with the cycling community, all of you, to hold 2 bike safety summits this spring. We want to do the first one in April. We want to really highlight bicycle safety, and we believe by holding a summit and gathering all the experts together and make sure that communities understand that you need bike lanes, you need to protect cyclists, you need to make sure they're safe while they're bicycling, and we need to really highlight that. So we want your help on this. We believe bicycle safety has to be one of our top priorities. It will be, and we look to all of you to be helpful. What we really hope to do is to create a standard guide for how we build modern streets, bridges, and highways that keep everyone safe, including cyclists. So, if you're called upon, we're gonna have one of these cycling safety, bicycle safety summits in April. We're trying to figure out where's the best place to have it. It's not going to be in Washington, okay? I'm sorry for all you DC people. Now we want to go out to the country where we know that people really have a vision for this and people really care about safety, and not that people here in Washington don't, because they do. And my wife and I, Kathy's here tonight, my wife and I cycle on the weekends, but we usually go on the C&O Canal or other places. Sometimes we go along the Parkway and over to Alexandria. We're blessed in this area with some great places to cycle. So, but we need your help on this. This is going to be our priority, and this will continue, and we'll make a difference, and we'll bring down deaths on our part by really working hard with communities to make them understand how important it is to protect bicyclists when they're on the roadways. And whatever you can do to be helpful to us. Maybe Andy, what we should do is have a little lottery and somehow pick the city where we'll have our first summit. You've got a lot of other things I know you want to do it this weekend or this week, but anyway, if you can help us find a good place to do it, obviously we'd love to have your suggestions. So, I don't know if I'll be addressing this summit again as the Secretary of Transportation. I think some of you have heard that we're going to be moving on, and once the President decides who the next Secretary will be, then we'll move on to some other adventures. But we'll never forget all of you and what you have done in your communities to improve the communities. And we won't forget about your vision. And we want to continue to stay in touch with you and really continue to make a difference. But what a ride. 4.5 years with all of you. And you've made a great difference. You really have. And we appreciate the partnerships that we've had with so many of you in your communities and what you've done to improve your communities. Not only for yourselves, but for the next generation. I talk a lot about the next generation and the next generation of transportation. You have promoted the next generation of transportation. Kathy and I have 10 grandchildren, and I think this Christmas we bought, I think 4 bikes. It just about broke us. 4 new bikes for our grandchildren. And the look on their face on Christmas Eve when they saw that new bike, you just can't capture it. It's magnificent. and to teach children at a young age about cycling and about safety and about good health and the good health that comes from cycling. It's just, it's extraordinary. So we've had a great ride together. I've appreciated all of what you have done, and I hope we can stay in touch and keep the momentum moving. Thank you very much.